What's up, guys? So I am in my kitchen before I head outside into the garden. I've had this heavy whipping cream from Azure Standard. It's A2, um, and I wanted to try to make butter with it. I told my daughter that we would try to make butter, and it's been so busy I haven't had a chance to make it. But today I'm going to try and make it before I head outside. I already threw some Dutch baby pancakes in the oven using the whole milk that I got from Roots and Refuge Farm. It tastes amazing. I don't really like store-bought whole milk. I drink almond milk, but the milk straight from the cow was really delicious, and so I'm so happy to have it. I'm going to be using this heavy whipping cream, and I think there's still some cream off of the milk that I got from Roots and Refuge, and I'm going to add that as well. Before we move on, I just have to say that I'm just so amazed at this colorful egg basket. I remember when I would just dream about having a colorful egg basket, and now it sits in front of me. Okay, so I've added the heavy whipping cream in the container. So what it says is to begin whipping on a low speed. Turn it on the first one, Nia. And continue to whip until this gets thicker, and gradually just increase the speeds. And then first it will turn into whipped cream, and you keep whipping from there. So we'll just watch this. So this has been whipping for 10 minutes, and you can see it's getting much thicker. While that's continuing to go, I'm starting on my sourdough bread for tonight's dinner. I kind of burnt the edges of my Dutch baby pancakes, but they'll still be good. And the butter is still whipping. If you can see, it's starting to turn yellow now. So I just stopped it to scrape down the edges, and then maybe you can see a little better that it's starting to turn yellow and separate. Right. I don't have a dairy cow, so I wouldn't be making butter like this because it would be more expensive, but I figured just to try one time to show my girls how you can make butter from heavy whipping cream would be worth it, so that's why I'm doing this. Okay, so I had to put this cloth over it because it started splashing all over my refrigerator, but as you can see, it actually smells like butter too, but the butter fat is down there, and these are the butter clumps, and they tell me to strain it. I'm just following the recipe. I've never done this before, so I'm gonna see how it turns out. Okay, maybe you could see it a little better. I scraped down all the sides, and I'm going to put it inside of this. They said you could use a cheesecloth. I don't have a cheesecloth, but I have these vegetable mesh bags that I'm going to strain it in. So my daughter is just running it underneath cold water, and I'll probably add some salt, but we have made butter. I'm just like, you're supposed to put it under water to squeeze out the butter fat. So I have butter, so now I'm just gonna add some salt to it and use it tonight for when I make my sourdough buns. Maria. Okay, so now that I'm finished inside, I am going to, oh my goodness, I was going to show you these onions I harvested yesterday, but I just forgot that my roses finally came in, so we'll actually have to open those before we can go outside. But these are all the onions I harvested from that bed, and most of them were much bigger than the original ones that I harvested. I'll throw in a clip of what they look like. I'm gonna open them right here in the shade by my garage because it's so hot outside. But they came in 4 different boxes, or 3 different boxes. My girls are bringing out the other boxes, but so far it's looking good. So I unwrapped them and I bought 2 of every kind of rose. This first one is a Zephrine, I guess how you say that. It is a thornless climbing rose, and it is this beautiful pink color, and that's what I want to have growing in front of my gate. And I got it thornless because nobody wants thorns poking them. So that's what I got for climbing roses for in front of the gate. I got 2 different kinds of yellow roses because they're both beautiful, and I couldn't decide. The first one was called First Impressions, and it's a thornless, but then this Happy Go Lucky, it has thorns, but it was also so pretty that I had to get this one as well. Over here, I got this Fiji. It is a really dark pinkish, almost reddish color rose, and I got 2 of those. And then I got 2 of this Tranquility, which is a David Austin type rose, and it's a white rose, but it has like a tint of yellow in it, and I just thought it was really pretty. And I think this one is the one that said it had less thorns. And the last 2 roses I bought were this one called Belinda's Blush, and it, by the name, it is a baby light pink color rose, and so I thought that was really pretty as well. So I'm gonna let them sit out here in the shade. It stays pretty shaded in front of my garage, so they should be just fine. The soil is still really damp, so I'm not gonna water them, but I'm so happy to have them in. It's so hot out here, so it's supposed to be like in the mid-90s and feel like in the hundreds. And once again, I didn't get out here early enough because I had inside projects to do, and I'm in and out of the house messing with that sourdough, which is fine. But I wanted to bring you guys out here in the back and show you the progress that my husband made with putting up the fence and the gate back here. So as you can see, he has all the T-posts in, and we now have a gate going straight across, which is so awesome. And today, when it cools off, he'll start stretching the fence to go straight across, and half of our property will be fenced in. So I walked over here to check on our baby chicks. They're not really that much babies anymore, but they're so cute. Especially the Polish ones that have the little afros. While I was back here, so we kept 2 trees, this one and that one, because they were walnut trees. But I was just standing here and I see all of these circles on the leaves. I have no idea what is that. Is that from a bug or something? I don't know. It's definitely not walnuts producing on the leaves. But when I look up, I do see that there are some walnuts starting to form on this tree, but those circles are not walnuts. So if anyone knows anything about trees, I have no idea why I keep walking back here in sandals when I know I'm scared of snakes. And I seen this picture where someone posted how rattlesnakes could blend in with like dead leaves and stuff. And since we had this back, well, most of our whole property forest mulch, it's nothing but brown on the ground. And now I'm paranoid that I am going to run into a rattlesnake. But I always seem to walk back here with my sandals instead of my boots, and I never think about it until I'm all the way back there. So yesterday we actually moved all of the fruit trees to the side of the garden just so that I could get that side cleaned up. We didn't finish, obviously, it still looks a mess, but I have now all the fruit trees and bushes and everything just in one spot over here along the fence. I still have these 3 trees. Is it 3 or is it 2? 2 or 3 trees to up pot because I ran out of containers, so I had to go, and soil, so I had to get some containers for my friend, and my husband went and got me some more soil, so I have to do that. Yesterday I harvested like a handful of strawberries, and I see that there are more strawberries that weren't ripe yesterday fully. So I'll have my girls come out here and harvest the rest of the strawberries. Ooh, there's a dark red one just hanging right there. And I'll throw in a clip of what the strawberry, or a picture of what the strawberries look like that we harvested yesterday. So this is mostly the section right here where I planted, or where I pulled up all of those onion yesterday. This variety was the yellow, what is it called? Yellow Granix. And you can see there's still some more that need to come up that are leaned over. But I'm so happy with just a little more time how big the onion bulbs got. Just I did fertilize them with some fish emulsion and add in some blood meal and then watered that in as well. So I don't know if that gave it a last little boost, but they're looking so much better. The ones in the front still didn't get as big as the other 3 varieties, but I'm wondering if it has something to do with all of it, with it being so heavily mulched. We had other log raised beds behind me were mulched with this fallen leaves, but then we had a really heavy windstorm, and it blew all of the mulch into this bed, and mostly at the front of this bed where these white onions were. And so I'm wondering if maybe they just weren't getting enough water or enough nutrients going down, like seeping through past the leaves, and weren't able to grow as big, because all the rest of them that had less leaves around them seem to be bulbing up, and these white ones are still not that big. There's that one that is a pretty decent size, and then I think there's one over here that's a decent size, but for the most part they're all really small compared to all the rest of them that have gotten a little bigger. I know I showed this in my last video, but I'm so happy to have these lilies here and to know that all of them are going to bloom. It's just going to look gorgeous. I'm not going to be doing work right now because I can just feel the back of my neck burning already. It is midday and I'm working on that sourdough loaf, so I'm in and out of the house, but I just wanted to come out here and check on things and just show you guys some updates. But I will be back out here later when the sun doesn't feel like death. My son built these 3 raised beds for me because I didn't add any more raised beds on this end because I didn't know how far the gate was going to be coming out. But now that I see how far the gate or the fence has come out, I think I can actually fit, you know, 3 more and it still have like enough space at this fence, because I do want to utilize this fence to grow something up this fence. Originally I had thought that I wanted to grow all of my tomatoes going along that fence because I could fit a bunch of them there, but when I realized that we weren't going to get the fence up in time, I had to reevaluate my planting, and so that's why I have planted tomatoes everywhere else. But it would be nice to utilize that area as a tomato growing area next year.